This is Mastering Mathematics with your teacher, Karen Weston.
Hello everyone, welcome again to another in the series Mastering Mathematics, a program sponsored by the Ministry of Education using its EBU unit, Mathematics Center for Education and ABS Television. We are ensuring that mathematics becomes a doorstep experience and that we're sensitizing the entire population to make certain that we can do mathematics. Today, I've chosen to call the topic miscellaneous because, yes, there's some little students who every week been sitting by this television and wondering when Miss Weston is going to say something about them. Oh, my dear primary school students, please forgive me. Yes, we had to top up our secondary schools, and so the last thing we did with them were vectors. Today, however, I want to turn my attention to the primary department and those grade 6 students who are getting worried now because the term is at an end and nearly near an end, and yes, teachers have been asking for projects. So I want to spend some time today talking a bit about the grade 6 assessment projects for mathematics. I get questions from parents and from teachers and from friends who want to know, is there a format for the examination? And we are saying there is, in terms of saying this is your guideline, the only guideline we have is to say that in terms of your project, number one, we're going to have a goal. Okay, number 2, you're going to have an aim. Number 3, we're going to have an objective. Okay. And 4, you're going to give us method. Okay. And 5, you're going to tell us the outcome of your task. And 6, of course, you're going to give us a conclusion. But before you get into conclusion, I would want to hear from you. What did you learn? And 7, then you can give me a conclusion. There is no set rule, and of course objective here you can, so I can still do a little numbering here, because I can say you can, of course, every time you do something, you're going to write an introduction. Okay, you're going to write an introduction. So sorry about that. So 4 would be introduction, 5 would give me methods, 6 would give you an outcome, and 7, what did you learn, and 8, your conclusion. Again, bibliography, some people call them references, are also part of it. Okay, references. So parents, I want you to project mathematics. Okay, now this is exactly what I'm saying. You don't have to take it as a prescription, but the whole idea of the mathematics project is that in our schools we would have been teaching them anything like number theory. They would have been doing measurement, not in any particular order here for me. Measurement. They would have been doing statistics. They would have been doing consumer arithmetic. They would have been doing geometry and sorry, coordinates, topic of symmetry, and the other topics on the grade 6 and other topics on grade 6 curriculum. Now, in the main, all we are asking in terms of the mathematics project is that for any one of these topics, all right, we want the students to give us a project, to give us an idea of how the knowledge they would have learned in the mathematics classroom could be used or will be used in their environment or in their daily operations. And that is why we want to say the information we gave you in that little booklet was just to tell us, first of all, to sensitize us as to what a project is and what are we expecting when we're doing a project. But no big expectation could be saying this is definitely what you have to do, because this is now testing creativity on behalf of our students. So they are going to tell us with their own little eyes, through their own little channels, what sort of things they see that the knowledge for the mathematics that they would have learned in the classroom, how they can use it in the real world. Our goal all the time will always have to be how we can use the mathematical knowledge to solve real world problems. That is the goal all the time that we seek for students to do. Now, the aim will be different for each student, because I may want to say, I am trying to use this knowledge to produce X, Y, and Z. All right? X, Y, and Z. And we don't know what that is. And therefore, your objective too will be, of course, to satisfy your mathematics SBA, the SBA, in terms of showing where the particular mathematics knowledge is used in the real world. So for each project, again, the objective would be different, because each person would want to say, we're going to be using the mathematics knowledge that we have used to show where in the environment or in the workforce such information is used. And introduction, of course, you're going to introduce your project for us to tell us exactly what your aim is and what you're going to be doing and how you hope to carry out that project. In the method now, you tell us exactly what you did in taking out your project, and where you're saying outcome of your task, you're going to tell us what actually happened and if you achieved what you set out to do, and how useful was this exercise. Would be saying, what did you learn? And then you can start doing your conclusion. Would you tell other people to try this? Was this a worthwhile exercise? And what would you have to say? That is what we're saying out of that. Now, if you had to look at any other resource book to see what exactly, how to do this, use pictures to highlight what you're actually doing, then of course you have to tell us exactly where they came from. If you went on the internet, you have to give us the link, etc., to make it a part of it. So, no, there is no prescriptive anything like writing down and telling you this year the topic is, and this is what the project is all about. Because we can have persons who are telling us something about fractions. It will be different to another person telling us about the same topic, fractions. So we just want to see your innovative aspect and how the creativity is planning out in the mathematics knowledge that we are teaching our student. Okay? So I hope that that takes care of the project, the worries that some people have. Some parents are thinking, what do I have to do? What do I have to say? So you're just giving us, again, the first things, our goal, the aim, the objective. Start with an introduction. What method did you use in taking out that? What was the outcome of your task? Okay. And what did you learn? Conclusion and your bibliography. Now, if some people had to use just handwriting and not to print it or something like that, there is no marks taken off for that. Okay, no marks taken off for that. Again, people may say, yes, you get a better finish. That is true. But it is the substance and the quantity and what is in it, the quality of what is being said, and to see that it is really coming from the student, which is important. So if your project is handwritten, somebody else's is typed, it does not mean that they are at an advantage over you, because we know all that, okay? So we just don't want it to be a theoretical aspect. We want it to be something practical to show how you can use the mathematical knowledge taught in school to endorse and to use in real world activities. We will take a break and we will be back still to address some of the things for our primary school students.
Don't look on what I cannot do. Focus on what I can do. I may not say the word I zero, but I can hear and feel it as strongly.
I may not hear, but that does not and should not affect my ability to learn and to function in the real world.
I am a gifted student. I need the opportunity to soar. Support me in my climb to higher levels of learning.
Some of our children have special educational needs. They have a right to an education. So let us teach them the way that they learn and help them to achieve their full potential.
To succeed in mathematics, you need to build on what you have learned before. New concepts are added to and build upon previous concepts. It is very important that the early material be mastered thoroughly. Similarly, mastery of material from previous classes makes success in later classes more likely. So continually review and practice concepts from previous sessions.
Right, so we are back, and I hope we have really set to rest and heart everything that some people, the worries that some people had about that. Now, students, what have you been doing all this week? And you're sitting there and saying, Miss Wilson, are going to ask us any question? Well, guess what? I was just giving your teachers a chance to take you a bit further, because I know everybody would have been starting with your number theory. So by now, place value should be known, all right? So you can tell me if it is 100, tens, thousands, whatever number we give you, you can do that. So your place value. We also want you to know that the tables are also important. So I hope you have been studying that. So our tables are important. And I know that these teachers like to kill you with the fractions, okay? To kill you with the fractions. So teachers, just take a time, make certain that they can add, subtract, multiply, and divide those fractions. Don't go too big with the big questions for our fractions, all right? Just make certain that the concepts are known, and that is important to us. So then, if I had to give a student, what is the place value? So here we are, students. If I had to give you this question, what is the place value of the 7 in this number? And it is 6, 4, and it is 7, 2, and it is 308. These are the sort of things that we're asking about. What is the place value of the 7 in this number? And of course we're going ones, tens, 100,000, tens of thousand. Isn't that true? Yes. Okay. So up to that, we will say the place value there would give us into our tens of thousands. Okay. And we are not going to give you any long numbers, longer as long as that. We try to make certain that they're shorter. I'm just looking up and looking at the Bright Sparks grade 6 book. Okay, but we try to make them a bit shorter than that particular number. Okay. No. So that again we may be going 53290 and asking what is the place value of the 2 in that number. And again, you're shutting up your little hands because you'll say ones, tens, and this would be hundreds. Okay, 1 tens, and that would be hundreds. Now suppose I went the other way and I put a point here and I had 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that the number now is 3290.234. And I had to ask you for the place value of the 4 in this number. The place value of the 4 in that number. So again, we would have to know the first number after the decimal point would be tenth, okay, without th, hundredth, okay, and this would be thousandth. So that would be even like 4/0001. All right, so that is what we're saying, that it would be thousandth with our th. All right, so these are the things that I expect that you're studying up now this time. We know those, and of course what it is that you're always saying, the worded problems, okay, because we know that our consumer arithmetic is going to come into effect. The consumer arithmetic is going to come into effect. All right, so some of the things that we ask you to do is to make certain that we know these things. We can get an easy little problem that says the cost of a hotel room for Mr. Wu and his wife in staying in Barbuda was $175 per night. The cost of a hotel room for Mr. Wu and his wife when staying in Barbuda was $175 per night. What did it cost them to stay for 6 nights? What did it cost them to stay for 6 nights? And I'm sure you're telling your mommy, I can answer that question. All right, mommy, I can answer that question. Now another question we have, and of course we can have things like this where you have your graphs. Yes, we know that these questions in terms of graphs are going to come. You're going to have a full total, and then you're going to be asked in terms of our bar charts for certain things, okay? And These are the things, teachers, we want you to concentrate on in the classroom when we say that our students are doing graphs, that they understand how they are reading the graph questions and not thinking that all the time it is the highest point that is going to be the important answer. Make certain that they can read the questions, understand what they're being asked, because this one is saying these are the results of a 1-hour survey taken at an intersection, okay? And after that you have 1 p.m. to 1:10, and they give them the different times. And then after this you're asked questions like green light show for half the hour of the survey, and green light show for half the hour of the survey, and they ask if it's true or false. They can be asked what fraction, and what fraction of the vehicles were cars, what percentage of the vehicles were truck, how many buses passed the intersection. These are the little things that we have to be practicing and making certain that we make the operations and the questions that we're giving them in the classroom real, okay? And again, in geometry, all that we ask the students to do in the primary school, get into our definition so that we know definition for the point. Then after the point, you're getting into line. Then we're getting into our line segment. And then we're getting into rays. And after that, we're putting two lines together. So we're forming angles. We want to know the different types of angles. And then after that, we may be putting 3 lines together. And then we know we're forming then our, getting into the first polygon, which is a triangle. And we know we have different types of triangles. So we want to know that you know the different types of triangles. And after that, we normally take you up to 10 sides in terms of calling them a many-sided figure, which is closed. It's called the polygon. And we want to know if our students can say, what would a 4-sided figure be called? The 5-sided figure, the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? And we're taking them there to find out these things. We don't give them the angle in the primary schools in terms of anything like that, okay? But we do give them simple little things in the geometry where we know that we say the angles on a straight line adds up to 180, and they may be asked, given something like this is 72 degree, and asked to find x, okay? What would be x? And of course we know they're writing their little sum. X plus 72 would be equal to 180 degree. And we're asking them to solve so that if this is 72 and 72 plus something is equal to 180, you know that they're saying x would be equal to 180 and it's minus 72 to get our little answer here, 0, 1. And don't forget to put on your degree so that the x there would be equal to 108 degree. I think we keep them as simple as that. If it comes with the triangle, okay, we may give them an angle which is 32 degree, and then we can give them 2x, and we can give them x and ask them to find the values for the other angles, all right? And for something like this, we are just saying now that it is 2x degree plus x degree plus 32 degree would have been equal to 180 degree. And so we are adding that you have 3x degree would be equal to, we take all the numbers over to one side, and as long as we are crossing an equal sign, it's a plus over here, it comes over as a minus, okay? 32, 2 from 10 would leave me with an 8, 3 from 7 would give me a 4, and then we get a 1. So you have your 3x degree is equal to 148. Now we don't want to find 3x. We don't want to find 3x is equal to 148. And if we want to find 1x, we're going to be dividing both sides by the 3 is equal to 148 divided by 3, okay? So this into that would be 1. So you have x degree, and you take your time and you say 3 into 14, and that will be saying 3 4s are 12. Okay, so we're getting a 4 and 2. So then you're going 3 9s are 27, and you'd have 1 upon 3 degree. Okay, in the examination room though, we're going to make certain that we say the numbers behave properly. So students, you're working with your teachers, they're telling you exactly what to do, because of course you know you have to get into volumes and your areas, etc. So we have our triangles, you have your different shapes, you'd be given your different sizes and asked to find something. If this is 5 coming all the way down, up to here is 2, and we can get 3, and the whole length is 8, and then we can go across here that this is 4, and have your sign CM, 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 and we can be asked to find things, okay? And it is something like this that we are asking the students to take care of. So right now, we're not sitting you into any pattern. We're asking you to work along with your teachers, because they're working from different angles and from different aspects. So we don't want you to be worried and say, our children haven't done that yet. All right? So that is why we're keeping far from the primary school in terms of saying, this is the topic you're doing, because we don't want anybody getting nervous or bumfungal. We know exactly what is, you know exactly what you have to cover. And then in the second term though, I'll be coming back at you all the time and giving you stuff. So primary school students, don't say Miss Weston didn't talk to you. Today, all we did was to get straight into your operations and to make you understand that you're not left out. The project we had to go through, because I know some students, some parents are worried and wondering, what do I have to do? And yes, you can still phone and find out and ask what it is. My cell number is 783-6971, 783-6971, or else the EOs, any EO in the Ministry of Education will get in contact with me, and any of your friends can too. All right, if I am not able to answer you, you can call back again and you will get an answer to see what is in terms of that. So this is where we're going to end our operation for today. Today was dedicated really to our primary school students, because we know that we're getting on with our secondary school, and I am quite pleased and proud to say that what I'm seeing so far, we must be and we are on target to make certain that we improve that mathematic pass by another 20%. I still have to touch St. Mary's and I still have to touch Glanville's, but I think I know what's happening in the other schools and that we can rest safely. But Glanville's and St. Mary's will be my prime focus the next term, to see exactly that they are on par. Barbuda is doing very, very well, and I'm very, very pleased to report that we are expecting great things from Barbuda for this year. So until tomorrow evening, I'll be getting back to the secondary part of it right now and getting back into the fifth formers. We will be talking a little about the vector, but then in general just talking and saying what has gone down, because believe it or not, it's just about 3 more weeks for the end of the first term. So I just want to give a wrap-up summary and see exactly where we are, and to let you know how I feel about how we're getting there. And do not forget that these things are on YouTube and Facebook. All right, so you're just going www.youtube/mastering mathematics, www.facebook.com/mastering mathematics, and they're there. And channel 6 in Barbuda is also bringing these things, and I'm sure ABS television would always tell you about their library, that you can go and you can get the stuff. So things are there. All right, and just now the Minister of Education will be bringing up some more stuff too, and you know the CXC website is there. All right, so we have everything that we need. Use your tablets, use them wisely. Make certain that at the end of this year that you can smile, because you would have done the work to pass your mathematics exams. So until tomorrow, this is Karen Weston saying, do enjoy the rest of the evening.
Join us next time for another in the series, Mastering Mathematics. a production of the Education Broadcasting Unit in the Ministry of Education and ABS TV.